Hey everyone, Cyril Deaconoff here and Alex Pacholuk, sound design team for the Programming Foundation. Wanted to chat a little bit about the work that we've done so far. We're kind of at the end of the first phase of sound design for the Programming Foundation, and kind of wanted to talk about what we've done so far and how we did it. So yeah, one of the first tasks that we did was to set up a operating system startup sound, um, and we're gonna play it and then see and then talk about it a little bit. So I'm gonna share my screen here. The good thing is that almost all of our work is on one page here, the website for the foundation sound design page. And you can see most of what we've done so far. And here is operating system startup sound. Here is what it sounds like. Okay, so very typical. I think you could say that it's sort of in the tradition of your typical startup sounds. All right. Well, then the next thing we've done, and Alex maybe will talk about it, is Learn Platform auditory experience. Learn Platform is where is sort of the first gathering page for different programming languages. And here is what Alex did, and then I processed it a little bit. Let's give it a listen. Okay, so Alex, you want to talk about it? How did that happen?
Yeah, so for that, basically used the only thing that we had created at that point, which was your boot up sound for the
Right,
operating system.
that's right.
Yeah, so basically uh, made a sample out of that sound and then cut it down to, just the end part of that sample, played around with like pitch shifting it and speeding it down, adding some other effects and synth sounds. And yeah, that was pretty much the basis for the landing page score.
Hmm. Right, and then I did a little bit more. I use sound particles for immersive audio, spatial audio. So I processed your file through that, added a little bit of EQ to kind of smooth out all the frequencies, and a little bit of reverb, and there you go. Cool. Okay, so and then our next stage was creating some of the background scores for specific pages on the Learn platform. For instance, one of the things that I did, one of my scores was Python. And yeah, so let's give it a listen. Okay. So yeah, so I don't know how it is for you, but for me, the visual is always sort of inspiration. There are some beautiful pictures on the Learn platform on different pages for different types of programming languages. And when I look at those pictures, they sort of inspire my mood. So that's where this comes from. And I always use lots of synths, add some strings, add a little bit of percussion, do some processing. So that's kind of my process for that. And yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's cool to hear. I feel like for me, for like a lot of the stuff I worked on, like the visuals were the first thing to like inform the, the mood or the direction. And hearing that piece again, I just love that one. I
oh,
feel like
thank
you
you.
nailed it.
Thank you. Well, let's now listen my favorite that you wrote. Make sure we share the screen. And you did Kernel, right? So that's actually my favorite. So how about we give that a listen? Okay, nice. So let's see, how did that come about? I love the pulsating sound and also the sort of spaciousness of the background sound. So talk about it. How did you make that?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think that might have been like the least amount of time I spent on any of the scores. I think I may have made it the same day. I think it was that I was working on the Vim score.
Mm,
And I just kind of, I think I finished the Vim one. And then I was like, oh, I still need to do something for kernel. And I just wanted to see like, okay, how like simple can I make something where it's just, it's a simple page. So I think that was a lot of the reasoning behind that. So yeah, I just wanted to see what I could do without, putting too many elements into the score.
yeah, and isn't it interesting sometimes when we choose to be simple, the result is the best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, very, very cool. All right. Well, let's talk about the notification sounds that you first created, and then I edited a little bit or processed. So, yeah, what are they for, and how would they work on a platform? And let's see if we can also share the screen.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and share that right now. All right, so maybe we, give it a listen first, and then we can talk about it a bit after.
Nice. Okay. So
All
how?
right.
All right.
So I think The idea for the OS notifications, I think it came right around when we were also talking about the contextual notes feature.
Hmm.
But the idea was to basically create notification sounds for the operating system, but to have like a few different levels of, you know,
Less urgency,
alert,
right?
urgency. Yeah.
So it's a reaction to different action by the user, right? To notify user of certain things that are happening on the platform. So yeah, yeah, it was really nice. And when I heard them, when I heard your first examples, I just added a couple of layers of a bit more percussive sounds, and so that the notification sounds that are supposed to have more urgency are a little bit more percussive. Just basically layer them up with things like that. Yeah. All right. Well, some of the most recent things, yeah, and that is probably the notification sounds are more practical in that sense because the background scores that we previously played, they right now they're just like inspiration for the users to listen and to kind of get into the mood of different programming languages, right? As they learn, C language or any of the others, or Python or any of the others. But the notification sounds are more practical in that sense. All right, and the most recent that we worked on is um, the sound logo for the foundation. So let's take a look at that. Um, and I'll also share my screen here. And here is the logo. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, so that one was actually interesting because it's so short. It's funny. It was probably one of the most challenging for me because the video is originally was 6 seconds, then it was extended a little bit to 8 seconds, and there is a couple of things. So there is typing, visual typing, sound I had to find, and then the title of the foundation. So yeah, so it's funny how to fit the different things and the harmony that's happening there through different scenes to fit all these things into 8 seconds is quite. It's not easy. It's harder than it seems at first. So the logo probably took more of my time. And then, but I love to mix it all up into the video and bounce it out. Both video and sound. It's very cool. So yeah,
Yeah. It's cool to hear kind of how in your mind you broke it up. Sounds like into like a few different parts, or like, okay, so we're seeing the typing, but then also, the text comes up. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes that can help me too in working on pieces.
right. Okay, so what's going to be the next stage for us?
Yeah, the project Gotham, I think
That's
is
right.
yes.
That's right. So we're gonna be seeing some of the background scores there again, right? What's the essence of the Gotham project?
Yeah, I think the idea with the Gotham project is funnily enough kind of using like the Assassin's Creed skill trees for reference.
That's
But
right.
yeah, kind of the idea is like a way to track your progress with
Mhm.
what you're learning, but basically broken down into like a classic video game skill tree. So it's very visual.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So looking forward to that. What would you say was the most interesting thing that you've enjoyed so far about creating the background scores, notification sounds, the most interesting or the most challenging?
Yeah, I feel like maybe just getting started, because I feel like a lot of the people at the programming foundation have like clearly had visions for where they want it to go for such a long time. Um, so I don't know. It's kind of tricky showing up and going like, hey, here's what we're thinking. What do you guys think? And
Mhm.
just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it could take a little bit, or it took a little bit for everyone to sort of align on the same vision. But I think that's also like what's exciting always is collaborating with other people.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 For me too. And how first we, the background scores were on the platform, and then it was decided that it's better that they're not there, but rather part of the research and development. Um, or sound design page. Yeah. So yeah, and that's fine. But yeah, but I loved working on and also doing some of the processing for your scores, and or adding the spatial audio, or sometimes I even would throw in some of the loops for my scores, and so yeah, and the mixing and processing some of the things that I enjoy the most, as well as composition too. But cool, yeah. So really looking forward to the next stage and Gotham project.
Same here.
Okay. All right. Great. Well,
Alrighty.